this presentation, I'm going to walk you through exporting the sandwiches table's data from the ASA SQL AnyWhere database to a CSV file and then importing it directly into a HANA database using HANA Studio and an import facility in the HANA Studio. To begin with, let's just take a quick look at the structure of the table. You can see a timestamp and then a bunch of characters, an integer, and concluding with a timestamp, and the primary key just happens to be the sandwich ID. My database is running on my machine, and I'm going to use the secure credentials for ASA for the demo database, and that's DBA SQL, and I'm going to connect. Now I'm going to enter my SQL statement. ASA has a facility that allows me to directly output a select statement to an output file of various formats. The documentation for the output statement is online in the online documentation for SQL AnyWhere. I happen to be using version 12. That's the version that ships with Power Builder 12.5. So basically, I'm going to select everything in the sandwiches table, and I'm going to output it to my sandwiches CSV, formatting it as CSV format, that's text, no quotation marks around the strings, and I'm going to put a column name header for the top row. Here we go. Took a second and a half to do the select, and now it's creating the CSV file, and it wrote 147,701 rows. There's our CSV file. To take a peek inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it to a text file, and I'm going to show you that there's the daters. Now, for our convenience, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to edit a text file and change the headers to be uppercase. Just make the job a little easier because I want everything in this table to be uppercase. I'll do that off camera, not waste your time watching me type. All fixed. Let's select the table. We have a header row, and we're going to import all the data starting with line 2, and we're going to put that into our SSSS schema, and I'm going to name this one sandwiches, and I'll do a next, and it reads the structure, and looky there. Okay, it's found all the stuff for us. Now there's a few things we got to do over here because it didn't quite understand what the data types are for the various columns. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to well, our stuff was all car, so we're going to change this stuff from nvarchar to varchar. Actually, order time itself was a timestamp, and that's what that's supposed to be. But all the character stuff is going to need to be varchar, not nvarchar. And the numbers are going to need to be big enough to hold all of our numbers, and it didn't quite figure that out, so our sandwich is going to be an integer. And again, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and do all this stuff, and I'll come back to you in just a second when it's all done and show you what I did. So here's what I did. The order time is a timestamp, as it was originally, and the others are varchars of the length that they were originally. And our table number, well, we don't have more than 100 tables, small int is fine, but we are going to have a lot of orders, and we are going to have a lot of sandwiches, and so we'll make those full-size integers. And again, you'll need to look in the HANA system and see the definition for all of the sizes of these various integral types and the technical details about them. All right, we're all done. Now this is going to be a column store table, not a row store, because we're going to optimize this for reporting purposes, and it will perform quite well for our needs when we do inserts and selects and all that good kind of stuff. All right, let's finish. And the job is running. 50%. The horses are running. They're off and going. I'll take it off camera for a second here, but you can see it's going pretty darn fast. And we are going over an internet connection. And we're all done. As you can see, the load was successful. It went pretty fast. It took about 2 minutes to do this particular load. And this was almost 150,000 rows. So it's pretty quick. Now let's refresh our table list. There's our sandwiches table. And let's just do a data preview, the top 200 rows. And sure enough, there's our daters. Looking good. Alright, the finish times are null for some of them, but for the ones that were really done, well, they're done. So that completes the process of importing data into HANA using CSV files. And this concludes our demonstration.